Alright guys, welcome back to Painting with Mr. Bates. And as I normally have been doing regular canvases, but today we're going to be working on doing a book. This book here is specially designed for acrylics. The pages have already been prepared to accept the paint. They're kind of a thick page, so we're going to work on this. Our color choices today, of course, are Rains Black, Phthalo Blue, Phthalo Green, Orange, Light Green, Lake Blue, and Titanium White. That's going to be our main colors for today. I'm going to attempt another new painting. I know normally I take a spray bottle and I wet down my canvas, but today I'm not going to do that simply because I don't want to get too much water on her. But I am going to take a 1.5 inch brush, and I'm basically just going to moisten the brush. Don't want it to be too wet. Shake a little excess of that water off. Alright, I'm just going to go right across the top of my page here and just kind of moisten that area. Now, don't want to get it too wet because, of course, this is paper. An 1.5 inch brush, I'll use that. I'm going to keep this one off to the side specifically for doing that. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab my other 1.5 inch brush. Normally, I would use a 2 inch brush to do my sky area, but I'm not today. I'm going to go a little bit lighter with my sky than I normally do. So I'm just going to use just the lake blue, maybe a touch of phthalo blue in it, not a lot, just to darken it a little bit, not much. And I'm going to come in and just going to start over on one corner. And again, going with crisscross. And don't worry about if you go off the edge, if you're using one of these and you go off the edge of your page up here. Actually, you can really just kind of take and kind of fill that in. But if you choose to remove these pages, then you're clean all the way to the edge. I'm just going to fill it in. I may need to moisten my palette just enough to give me some control of the paint to make it flow a little better. The sky is not going to be a very big area today. Like I said, I'm working on a new idea, a new painting, something that I've never done before. I started getting tagged in some pictures, and I'll show you what it is that I'm going to attempt to do. I'm going to add just a little bit of the titanium white to my blue here because I want to kind of lighten up this section here. The middle section here is going to be the middle of my sky is going to be the main part that's going to be showing through. So I want it to be kind of bright, but not too bright. All right. There we go. Now, like I said, just a little bit of titanium white to kind of brighten it up a little bit brighter than what it was going to be. Maybe even kind of dot in some clouds, and the sides up here will be, you won't see much of that when I get done with what I'm doing. So I'm just going to leave it kind of like that. It's not identical to what I'm doing, to what the idea is going to be, but it is something I'm going to attempt. And I've never done one before, so this is the first time for everything. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to wash this brush, just kind of let it sit. we're going to work on our foliage, our trees, and all this. We're going to work on putting this in. But the first thing I want to do is I want to lay in the background. I want to lay in the rocky area and layer it. We're going to work in layers, bringing it forward until we get ready to add in the waterfall. So the first thing I'm going to do, I am going to add a color to my palette. And that color I'm going to add is going to be I think I'm going to go with a burnt umber. Let me add that to my palette really quickly. Alright, I'm back. I've added a burnt umber to my palette. And I'm going to take my 1/2-inch brush, it's right here, and just going to load up my brush with some of the burnt umber. And I'm not too much concerned about detail, because like I said, this is going to be layered, and this is going to be our bottom layer. I'm going to start probably somewhere over in here. Just kind of, I'm really not even using the tapping motion today that I would usually use. I'm just kind of layering in some brush strokes here. Starting on that side. I want to layer this up to where we're going to have the illusion of a rocky setup. So now I'll come over here to this side and do the same thing. Just some short brush strokes, almost like an upside down U. Just a short brush strokes, nothing big, nothing fancy, until we get moved in to the center of our page. Now, as I move to the center, I want to take these two sides, I want to bring them together to where I'm getting that flowing motion coming down. Now, we have that, and I'm just going to continue this same pattern. And if you notice on the sides, I'm not too much filling it in completely, and there's a reason for that, because this is going to be completely covered with foliage, trees, bushes, a lot of greens. So I don't want that to be too dark to where my greens aren't going to show up. So as I move out further to the side, I will just continue to do that, but I'll keep my center here going the way that it is. Now, like I said, this is not going to be identical to this other picture. You don't want to ever just completely copy. Turn it into your own creation. So I've got this going here. Now I'm going to I want to move it around a little bit. You can use the crisscross motions. Ever how you can get the paint onto your canvas or onto your page. Just get it on there. But again, if you're doing the sides here, we don't want it to be full of color, but we do want some earth tones in the back. So that way when we layer on the greens, we're not just going just greens and that's all you're seeing. We want some earth tones in the back here. So I'm going to switch up, and I'm going to put this brush over here in some water. I'm going to switch up, and I'm going to go to the 1.5 inch, because the little 1/2 inch brush just isn't giving me any major coverage. Again, nothing super, just kind of brushing it in just to get a little bit of that earth tone in the background. I'm going to come over, you see I'm just kind of coming off to the side. I don't know if you can see that or not, coming off to the side of my palette. Just kind of cleaning that off. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to grab a little bit of the phthalo blue, a little bit of the titanium white, and just get kind of a darker blue here. And I'm going to come in right in this area here. Just the indication of a little watery, I guess you could call it a lagoon, a little basin of water. Grab a little bit of the phthalo blue, keep that kind of dark. So we're just going to put it in here. Doesn't have to go all the way across the page if you don't want it to. You can, especially if you're going to come in and do any more. Don't worry about if you get any on your back pages back here, because I'm just going to kind of mix in a little bit of that blue coming down here, because this is going to be our waterfall area. Grab my number 8 brush here. I'll use this a good bit, and it's got a not too stiff of a bristle, but it's got a pretty good bristle on it. I'm going to use it, and I'm going to grab some light green and some phthalo green, and I'm going to mix those up. So I got a light green and a phthalo green. I want more phthalo green than I have light. And then I'm just going to start off to the side, and as you can see, that light green kind of mixes in with it. So we have our foliage line coming in. We'll do the same thing with the other side. Come in just to give myself the indication of where my foliage is going to be. It's good to have a book like this, because it makes good for practicing. You have several pages to work on. If you like the way it turns out, then you've got a book to go back to and look at and get some ideas of what your next big painting is going to be. Perhaps if this turns out as well as I hope it does, then my next big project will be a waterfall scene. So, like I said, this is my first waterfall scene, so we're going to see how it turns out. I'm going to put just a little bit more light green in this, because as I get over this nice rich earth tone here of the burnt umber, it's not wanting to show up too well. So I'm going to go back and add a little bit more light green into this. I still want to keep that same mixture of the phthalo green and light green, just more light than phthalo. The phthalo green is a dark green, just like the phthalo blue. It's a darker color. And you see, I'm not completely filling this in, because I want some of that earth tone to pop. I want it to show through. You're looking at a waterfall scene, so you're going to be able to see some things. And this section here, it's going to be, it'll be filled in. You'll see some things, maybe some nice tall shrubbery here off into the background, or maybe it's going to be a tree. I'm not sure exactly yet. We may have some trees off into the background here. Like I say, it's not going to be identical to the one that was sent to me. I want to use that for an idea to do my own version of a waterfall. You can always look at things and get ideas, just like going out into nature. You go out on a nature hike and you look around and you see things that catches your eye and you say, ooh, I'd love to have a photo of that. I'd love to have a painting of that. Keep a camera with you. You see things like that, snap a photo of it, snap a picture, bring it home, put it on your computer, on your desktop, print it out, whatever, and have that as a reference point to look at. And always have that to go back on. I think my son Cody, I think he and I need to go on another nature hike. We haven't been on one for quite a while. I think we need to go on another nature hike and see what kind of ideas we can come up with. See where we can come up with some new painting ideas. If you've seen some of the paintings that I've posted and shown, you've seen he's doing some paintings and doing a really good job. He's getting compliments as far off as the United Kingdom on how well his are turning out. So a special thanks to Mr. Brett Day. We're painting with Brett over in the United Kingdom. We're in over in Beckles. He is a great guy. This is what got us inspired to start back painting, was watching him and his painting. He does some great oil paintings. Remember what I've said in other paintings, in other videos. Paintings are unique to the artist. You never want to try to be just like the other artist. And there are multiple styles of artwork out there, multiple styles of painting. Everything from what you see here to the more into the line of expressionism. Let's see, there's abstract. There's lots of different painting styles, and one of these days I will maybe do a video talking about the different paint styles, different techniques, show some samples of some different works, just to give you an idea of what you can do. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to try. And every artist has their own style, their own technique. If you've watched my videos, you've heard me say why I like to do a painting like this, where I'm actually tapping on the paint. The reason being is it gives me texture. When I say painting, I want it to pop. I want it to come off the canvas to me, or off the page. I want it to have some texture, to look alive, to have some dimension to it. I want it to be just a two-dimensional painting with no life. And nothing like that. Nothing wrong with those. Those are great paintings. A lot of great artists have done paintings like that. But I like to have some dimension, some texture, some pop to it. All right, I'm going to come back and I'm going to grab a little bit of that orange, and I'm going to mix it in with my light green here. Now I'm going to come back and I'm just going to, and yes, I know I'm leaving spaces, but that's fine. Reason is because I'm going to come back and I'm going to add more color, more texture. As you see, I'm coming back over it, which kind of helps to blend in that orange. And just to give some color, perhaps this is a nice fall scene where we have some of those deep, some of those very bright colors, vivid colors popping out of the scenery and out of the shrubbery. You get out into the woods and you see a lot of things. And you see my page is starting to get more like a canvas here. It's getting a thicker run to it. All right, I'm going to stop here just for a moment. I'm going to take a short break. And when I take a short break, I hope you enjoy this quick preview of another project that I do, which is a book that I authored. I'm going to do a quick preview of that. Enjoy it. And if you're interested in ordering that or any paintings that you're interested in that I might have for sale, just let me know. And you'll see a link to my email and to my Facebook pages pop up on this. So I'll be right back. welcome back. I have went and I've grabbed my fan brush here. And really quickly, I want to just kind of lay in a little bit of the water scene here. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the titanium white, a little bit of the lake blue, and I want the bottom layer of my water to be a darker color. I may even add just a touch of the phthalo blue to that. I'm going to load my fan brush up really well. And not sure if you can see that good, but I've got my brush loaded up with some paint. And I'm just basically going to I'm going to start right here. Just like so. Like this right here. And I was watching a video the other day of a lady that was giving a lesson, and one of the things she said was every painting goes through its ugly stage. That's when you look at it and you're thinking, oh wow, this is horrible. This is not going to turn out what I thought it was going to turn out to be. I just need to stop where I'm at. The thing about it is, just because it's going through that little ugly stage, as you would refer to it, doesn't mean that it is a complete failure. Because as you come back and you add and you're thinking, oh wow, you just covered up all of that. But the fact is I'm still going to allow some of that earth tone to pop. This is going to be kind of a thick, a very misty, a very full, I'm hoping, waterfall. So I just added that. Just to kind of get as a reference point to where the waterfall is going to be, because I don't want to completely cover this up and just say, oops, you know what? I forgot where I was going to put my waterfall, or how I was going to put the waterfall. So this just gives me a quick reference point as to where my waterfall is going to come in from. And one thing you see I'm doing is I'm rotating the direction of the flow, because when you're coming down, waterfalls aren't always solid. So I'm going to go back into just my light green this time. Not going to add any more colors, just want the light green by itself. And I'm just going to just give the indication maybe of some foliage. Maybe I've got this nice green tree here. So I'm going to give just the indication of some foliage. You say, but wait a minute, there's no branches. But don't worry, there will be. I just want to get my idea, get my rough, I guess you could call it a rough draft, where I want this to be. Maybe there's going to be a nice, full, thick tree just over on this side. I'm going to grab here. This is a number 4 flat brush. Got a little bit of an angle to it, not much. I'm going to grab a little bit of that Rains Gray and just a touch of that titanium white. And now I'm going to come back in and we're going to give the indication of a little bit darker with this. We got this big branch coming off. Come off just like so. I'm going to wet my brush just a little bit so I can get a better flow of my paint. again, you have that ugly stage that you're going to go through. We'll call it the ugly duckling. Doesn't have to be solid in there. Alright, now place that brush back in. I'm going to go back into my light green. And now we're just going to fill in that foliage. Fill in those leaves. A nice, full, thick tree with a lot of leaves. A lot of nice green. I'm going to show you something else here. Just a little bit. A smaller branch here, maybe. Alright, now we're going to grab a little bit of that phthalo green and orange color, maybe a little bit more of the light green. And like I said, I think maybe this will be like a fall type setting, so now we're going to give it some color. All right. Now it's hard to see that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the camera and kind of just pan it around here. It's hard to see exactly what you got going on right now, but it will come together very soon. All right. I'm going to keep in with this setup here. I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab my other fan brush. And we're going to grab a little bit of our light green, touch of the phthalo green, and a touch of the I think white. I'm going to have just a little small tree off in the background here. Grab just a little bit more of the phthalo green. I'm going to come back and I'm going to touch up over that. Now we're going to come back in here. And just tap, 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 tap. My favorite thing to do. Blend in those colors. Add a little bit more light green over this one. Not much. Just enough to give it a little hint of more color. Alright, now I'm going to place this brush over here and I'm going to grab my round brush again. I don't want that one, that was too small. I'm going to grab our round brush and we're going to go back. I'm just going to take really quickly and just kind of mist down my palette because my colors are starting to dry out. That's the one thing about the acrylics is they do dry quickly. And I'm going to go back into that Rains Gray. And now I'm going to decide, I've got this, we're going to have this one little stray branch or two that's going to come off. And then we got to decide, do we want foliage on this? Or is it just going to be one of those off to the side that you don't see. And honestly, I think we're going to put a little bit of foliage on this. I really do. So I'm going to come off right here. Nice little, give it a thick trunk coming up through here. And the further off it comes, the smaller your branches come. A little bit of the titanium white, mix it in with that range gray, and I'll get kind of a lighter color gray. And we're just going to kind of come in here and maybe right along, just in here, just kind of touch in here, just to give the indication of some bark on our tree. All right, now go wash this brush. I'm always going to stand by. Got my number 6 brush here. I'm going to grab, and we're going to go and grab. Put a little bit more light green on my palette. I've used a good bit of it today. I got my light green, and now I'm going to grab just a good amount on my brush. Not a lot, you know. I don't want to go in there with globs of paint. I want enough on my brush that I can get some tone to it, some texture. And now we're just going to go in and we're going to fill it in. Some of you may say, well, why did you put that tree in the background and then you're sitting there going over it, covering it up? Not exactly covering it up, just giving some layers and some dimension to it. Now, remember we talked about dimension in the beginning of it. Don't want your painting, and there's nothing wrong with it, absolutely nothing wrong with it, but you don't want your painting to be just completely flat. You want some texture. You want some dimension to it. All right, just a little bit more here. There we go. Now then, we got that in there. Nice little big branch coming off to the side. Maybe there's a big tree way over here somewhere, and it's just coming up into the image here. I'm again going to come back over here and on my palette where it's already mixed, I'm going to grab a little bit of the mixture of the phthalo green, the orange, and the light green. And I'm going to put just a tad of the titanium white in this. I'm going to come back down here and we're going to just come right here with just some, or maybe a little bit over on the side as well. Let's give it a little bit more color. Now I'm going to come back over that though with another, maybe a little bit darker, maybe the phthalo green. Look over here. Maybe we've got some sand tones in here. Even going to brush a little bit into our waterfall. You say, well, why are you doing that? You're just messing it up. No, I'm layering it. I'm going to give it some texture. Alright? Alright. Now then, got that in there. I'm going to go back and just use my palette to wipe my brush off a little bit. grab a little bit more of that orange. Just a touch of the phthalo green. And we're going to come back and we're going to give a little bit of color to our big friend here. Remember I said this is maybe like a fall setting. Alright, now I'm going to grab a little bit more of the light green. And I'm going to come in here and we're going to, I don't like that too much, just lighten it up a little bit. I want to get almost maybe a mossy color, not brown, not green, not sandy, kind of a mossy color here. And we're going to come in here and we're just going to brush in this time. I know I said I like to use the tapping technique, but we're just going to brush it in this time. And yes, I'm covering up my tree, but that's okay because I'm going to fix that here in just a moment, because you're going to see some foliage kind of blocking that off. So I'm going to just give the slightest little indication here of maybe a mossy area. Maybe right in here. Maybe we got a little mossy area right here. All right, I'm going to come back into my light green, a bit of the phthalo green, and we got this little bush living right here. A nice big bush. We're going to come over here and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of dab in some color. Maybe come off the side. And maybe we got this. Maybe there's this bush that lives right here. Maybe off in the distance, I'm going to grab my angle brush for this, grab a little bit of that phthalo green. Maybe off in the distance we have just a little small, maybe this is a little small evergreen just sitting up on top of the hill area here. Doesn't have to be perfect. So when you're doing a painting, your painting is never going to look identical to the photo, because paint naturally is going to have a different texture to it, different setup. So now we're going to come in and I'm going to add in, I'm going to take my brushes and I'll put them over here and let these guys kind of sit over here and wash a little bit. I'm going to go back. I need to clean my palette just a little bit, so I'm going to be right back and give you another quick preview of the book. Alright, welcome back. Taking the time to clean some of my brushes during this break and get my palette moistened back up, get ready. And I'm just kind of taking the time to look at, and I'm going to again, once again, we'll take the camera and I'm just going to kind of pan around here just to kind of give you an idea of the different colors and textures that are showing up on this. So it's not, as you're seeing it from the side here, you're not seeing every little detail. But I'm going to just kind of pull this back in. We're going to start once again. Like I say, I've cleaned my brushes, got my brushes back ready again, got my palette moistened and ready to go. We're going to go in now. We're going to start working again on the waterfall feature, and then I'm going to decide whether or not I want to add. I probably will add in more to this as it dries, and it's hard to tell on the camera, but you see it does dry a little slower on the paper. So I'm going to go back in. Let me show you real quick. I said there's different styles of painting, different textures, different techniques. And I showed you earlier that this is the canvas board. But I just wanted to show you this one here. You've probably heard some of the brush strokes in the background or things moving around. But another great tool that you can get are these right here. And it's just stencils. You can find these in lots of places that does crafts. Get these, of course. Some of these I got at Walmart. I believe I've got these. These I actually got at Hobby Lobby. They range anywhere from like $2.99 a piece, or sometimes you can get them in packs. Just depends on what. These are some different things you can get. But I was telling you some about the canvases that I use and everything, and the fact that I'm doing this right here. But I wanted to show you this. My son was working on one, and I said that he's getting a lot better at his paintings, and using stencils is one good way to do the painting. And this one here, this is one that he just finished. I like it. It turned out really good. This is just on a canvas board. Like I said, it's the Master's Touch canvas boards. But this is what he just finished. It turned out really well. So he's getting a lot better at his painting. So I wanted to share that with you before we start back into this. Alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come in, we're going to grab, once again, our fan brush. And I just cleaned my fan brush, and as you see, I wear a little apron smock here, so I can kind of use it a lot. It comes in handy for drying off brushes. But I'm going to come in and I'm going to grab, we're going to start off with the phthalo blue. And I'm just going to tell you, this is where your palette knife comes in handy. So I can come in here and I can actually just kind of grab my colors that I want. So that's phthalo blue and this white here. I'm going to move it over here because it's got some other colors mixed in. I don't want to mix in. I'm going to grab some titanium white. I'm going to mix those two together. Maybe a little bit more of the titanium white. Doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so we've got that mixed onto our palette now. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this that I just mixed up, and using my palette, I'm just going to kind of spread it out onto my brush. I don't want it to be full on my brush right now. And I'm going to come in, my light just went down on it, my battery's getting weak. I'm going to come in and I'm going to grab right in here, and I'm just going to just the indication of the water coming down. You might not see it going on there well, but just the indication of it. not going really dark with the colors because I'm going to come back and I'm going to add more colors. All right, I'm going to wash this. I'm going to take a quick little short break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Got my light back a little bit. I had to move my camera back just a little bit so I can plug it up. But you can still see what's going on. That's giving this time to dry. And as you saw, I did just some brush strokes, kind of bringing it down a little bit and giving the indication of the water going in different directions. And I got this area right here that I liked as I was sitting back and I was looking at it. And I said, you know, it kind of looks like a rock, a little boulder coming out right there. So I decided I'm going to leave that. Maybe the water's hitting it and going around and everything. The same thing right here. There's another little protrusion right here coming out. So everything, maybe that water's coming down as it's hitting here and it's flowing around and coming down. So now we're going to come back and we're going to go into just our titanium white now. Just titanium white. And again, I'm going to mix this. I'm going to kind of spread it out onto the palette. I don't want a lot on my brush right now. And just with the corner, only the corner of the brush right now. And now I'm going to just use the whole brush. The water's coming down. And it's hitting right in here. And now we're going to start seeing it move around. It's going to move over to this side here. A little bit of tapping kind of helps to give you that effect. We're going to keep moving it down. We're moving around this. Maybe get a little bit just kind of splashed upon it. And we're moving down into this area here. Now I'm going to come back here in just a moment. You're going to see something that I'm going to do. I'm going to take this brush. I'm going to put it back over here into my wash. I'm going to switch to my other fan brush. It's got a little smaller setup on it, not quite as stiff as a bristle. And I'm going to grab the titanium white. This time I just want to work on this right here, bringing this down. Now we've got the you say, well, what about that area over there? But that's okay because you're about to see what's happening. Still going to have that mossy area there. We're going to call this that. We're going to say that that's a little bit of the mist coming off. All right. And, I'm just going to use my smock, my apron here to kind of dry the brush off a little bit. I'm going to come right here, just a little bit of tapping. I want to give the indication of a mist, of a spray. As the water's coming down, it's hitting, it's spraying, and we're getting that foaming action. I'm going to lay my brush back over here. I'm going to go back to my fan brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that blue that we were using earlier, that blue and white mixture. And what I'm going to do, I want this to be really loose. It would be watery. Real loose. Because when I put it in, I want it to be almost transparent so that white shows through. And the best way to do that is by using some water. And that's going to give you a transparent look. And then we're going to come back and again just the corner of the brush, just Don't want to completely cover that white up because we want the white to show through. Because that's going to be your foaming action. And then we're going to come back and we're going to layer over some foliage coming over into this. And I know I kind of covered the protrusions here that I said that I was going to use as white rocks, but that's okay. We can still work on that. I'm actually going to grab just a touch of this burnt umber here, mixed in with my blue over here. I'm going to come in here and just barely add it in. Not a lot. Don't want to overrun it. I've got that nice watery texture here. I want to keep that consistency. I want to keep that transparency. Using some short brush strokes. All right. I'm going to give this just a moment to dry because I want to come back over it and get some highlights and get our other sections. I'm going to wash this brush. Place it over here, let it wash. Now I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. And what I've done is I went in while I was letting my camera charge just a little bit. I just went in and kind of highlighted into the waterfall area here. Now, guys, as I said, I had never done a waterfall before, so this was the very first attempt at doing anything like this. As you see, I've kind of added the effect of a foaming action at the basin here as the water comes down. As the water flows down, you know, we've got some different textures, different layers coming in. Got some blues, some whites coming in, and it's not exactly what I wanted. Two reasons: one, I am painting on the specialty paper here, which means it absorbs my paints a lot more than it would on the canvas. So this was an experiment. Perhaps I'll do another one on the canvas one day soon, where I can get a better flow of my paint. But we're going to come in now, and I'm going to grab once again my number 8 brush here, and we're going to come in and grab some of this light green, and we're just going to come in and just kind of, maybe there's some little trees living off in the background back here that we didn't see earlier. And we're going to just, or maybe we're just going to let this be some highlights to our foliage coming down. But one thing I want to do is I want to kind of give an overlay here, some branches, maybe some brush or some bushes coming in, and just kind of overlays out in the woods. And we've come up on this waterfall. Some highlight colors going here, brighten it up so that we can kind of give some, again, dimension. Don't want it to look like everything is just flat. Again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But layering like this gives us that indication that there is dimension, there's depth. And that's always a great thing to see. Just gonna add a little bit more right here. Just like so. Maybe a little bit over our mossy area. And again, each painting is unique to the artist. Every artist is different. Every artist has their style. You make your painting yours. Make it unique to you. Don't copy what I do. Don't try to copy what other artists do. get some inspiration, get some ideas, and then say, what can I do to make that painting mine? What can I do to make that image my image? Maybe just a little bit more. Coming in right here. Maybe there's grab a little bit of the phthalo green. Maybe we got dark shrubbery right up around in this section here. This kind of pops in. Maybe there's some dark leaves that blends in with all of this. I'm going to grab some Rain's Gray. As Rain's Gray is a bluish, it has a bluish tone to it. I'm going to come in, and we're out in the forest. And now when you're out in the woods, you're going to run across you might run across some dead woods, some dried up trees. So I think that's what we're going to have. We're going to have just some hint of some branches coming off. Maybe this one's reaching down off of a high tree over here to the side. It's got a branch going up a little bit. So maybe this one's kind of reaching down. If you've seen a lot of my paintings, you see I like to do these. Some people might say, why do you want to use a lot of dead trees in your paintings? But let's be in reality, in nature you see that. You don't see trees that are, every tree you see is full of foliage. There's going to be several that you're going to run across that are not. I'm going to wet my brush just a little bit more. Don't want to wash the paint off of it. I just want to get my paint to where it will float. I'm going to grab just a touch of the burnt umber. I think I'm going to come off this side over here. Let's see. Maybe I've got one coming off to the side over here somewhere. Just like so. And if you've seen, I roll my brush. And I hope you can see what I'm doing there. I roll my brush like so. And maybe it has a little friend coming up from the lower side here that you can't see. Maybe it's the same tree. Who knows? Alright. A little bit of the phthalo green mixed in. Yeah, the phthalo green, the light green, those two work well together for doing things like this. And we're just gonna get the indication. Maybe this tree has a little bit of foliage on it. There we go. Yeah. I have a tree right here. It's got a little bit of foliage on it off in the distance. Alright. Put that brush over here, let it wash. And another thing you know that I've got to have in my paintings, of course, would be birds. I love my birds in my paintings. I've got to have them in it. So we're just going to go way off in the distance back here. We're just going to a little dot. It's too far off to really see what it is. Just a little dot. You can't really make out what it is. Get a little bit closer. So we got a little V coming in there. Maybe right here we got a little indication of maybe a couple of birds right there. Now we're going to get in. I got some more coming in. Alright. Got one right here. Maybe we got one flying down in front of the fall. And maybe we've got one flying into the spray. Or flying away from it, flying back up. And maybe we got one coming in. Maybe right here. Just flying around. Flying out of the trees. Maybe we've got one. We got a big old bird right here. I'll grab a little bit of my white up here. see if we just get a little bit of bark. A bit of bark on these old dried up trees right here. Highlight it. Gives the indication of some bark. Grab a little bit more of it. This one right here, and just gonna brush it in. It kind of stands out away from the birds. Now we're going to go back and I'm going to grab a little bit more of this range spray. We're going to, maybe this bird here, maybe it has a friend. Maybe they're circling around. Maybe they're getting ready to catch my fish down in the basin here. We'll go up here. We got one right here. And maybe just maybe there's one right over here. Grab a little bit more. There's one right there. Maybe we got one coming off in the distance right here. Just a whole flock of birds coming in. Getting ready to catch them some fish. Let's put one more right here. Maybe right about here. A nice little big one coming in right here, sweeping down. Alright, I think we're going to call this finished. I'm going to wet my brush one more time to get a nice flowing set of paint here. We'll get my paint on my brush. And I'm going to go, well, I'm actually going to clean my brush a little bit. And I'll go over here into the orange. Get a nice coat of orange here. And we're going to sign. And we're going to call this painting finished. It's not the best. As I said, I've never, ever, ever done a waterfall. Not even when I did my abstract painting. I never did a waterfall. Never did anything like that. I'm going to unplug the phone here. Camera phone. We're going to come around. Just kind of give you an indication here what we're looking like. Kind of move in. Let me see what we have. We'll call this painting an experiment, and we'll work on later with another design. Perhaps I'll come in and we actually put it on a regular canvas. I'm going to zoom out on it and get a wider shot. We'll put it on a regular canvas and get that paint flowing a little bit better. This was just an experiment to get an idea of how we can do it. We'll come back later and do another one on a canvas. So keep a watch out for that one. I've got a few other ideas I want to work on as well. So just keep a watch out. Enjoy your painting, keep trying, keep experimenting, keep coming up with ideas. And I will see you next time, or perhaps you will see me. Until then, enjoy your painting.